Details, and we're gonna go live. Hang on one second. I'm gonna actually see if I can turn you. Rotate device. It's telling me to rotate my device. I want to chat a little bit. It's been a busy month. Personally, I've got a lot of stuff going on kind of behind the scenes. And so when I have a lot of details and just a lot of stuff kind of outside of videos, it makes it really hard for me to do some videos. So I thought that I would jump on, and if there's any of you, hi Humberto, how are you? If there's any of you guys that have any questions, whether it be about my detailing business, about me, I just thought let's have a little chat. And if not, that's fine. I just wanted to kind of give you guys an update on what's going on. So this is actually my last detail for about 2 months. I'm going to be taking 2 months off. I have to have a surgical procedure that I can't lift anything bigger than 5 pounds for like 6 weeks. I can't even drive for 2 weeks after the procedure. And so I might be doing some videos like this, where if you guys have any questions about detailing, I can definitely hop on and we can kind of shoot the breeze. But, you know, I normally, when I do my videos, there's a lot of times unscripted, spontaneous, kind of as I see a situation or maybe a topic that I see a lot of questions about online, I would, you know, just do a video for you guys. Or maybe there's a product that I'm working with that you guys have questions with. Hi guys, how are you? Good to see you guys all on. So just wanted to explain to you guys like why you may not see a whole lot of detailing videos like this for a little bit. Now I have tons of videos or details scheduled for January, February, March already. Do I do this as a hobby or as a business? I actually do this as a business. I have a business here out of my garage. So this is a home-based business. This is my garage. My husband also has an HVAC business. You can see I'm actually using his equipment as a platform because it just works. Hopefully I'm not making you guys sick, but I have a 2-car garage with a mini split that I can have air conditioning, I can have heat, so I can work year round, and it's awesome. It's a huge blessing. I've been full-time since this fall, honestly. I was part-time as a stay-at-home mom, and my daughter is now in 1st grade full day, so that's allowed me to kind of go full-time. So, hey guys, how you doing? Watching from Jacksonville, North Carolina. Awesome. Good to have you on. So yeah, I'm not going to be doing any details for 2 months to be able to recover from my surgical procedure. So I'm not going to have a whole lot of like detailing hands-on videos, but we're going to be doing some of these live videos for you guys. So if you guys have any questions, either about me, about the detailing business, about detailing, about products maybe I've used, or just want to shoot the breeze, by all means, let me know in the comment section down below, and I'll try to do some videos in the future. Do you have to do a surface prep after claying before putting a spray wax or paint sealant on? Honestly, I don't all the time. The only time that I do panel wipe is if I'm going to be ceramic coating a lot of times. Pros and cons of spray wax and paste wax. Okay, so I'm not going to answer all the questions right now because I'm ADHD, and so trying to answer the questions and then finish a thought is near impossible for me. And maybe I'll go back through some of these questions and answer some of them for you guys. But yes, I just wanted to finish that thought that 2 months we'll be able to doing hands-on videos. We'll be definitely coming back full force January, February, March. We're already pretty much full January, February. So I'm really excited to see what, you know, winter looks like for me. I know a lot of times detailers will ask the question of how do you detail in the wintertime? And I'm going to hopefully be able to share videos like that. How I take care of my own vehicle, how I do customers' vehicles. I've done a couple videos in the past, but obviously we're going to be bringing you guys in for a lot of the different vehicles that we have and just share with you guys some hands-on experience and practical tips that hopefully can help you guys out, whether you're an enthusiast or a detailer. So let's see if I can go back through some of these questions. Forgive me if I'm like really close and bright. I might actually turn it a little bit so it's not so bright in the background for you guys. So hopefully I answered that surface prep question for you, Kevin. Pros and cons of spray wax and paste wax. I think it's about durability, honestly, and also ease of application. Spray wax obviously is going to be a lot easier, but you may get a couple weeks, if maybe 1 to 2 months out of it. Now, if you're talking spray sealant, Obviously, that's going to be different because a sealant is more chemically durable. It's going to last longer. Paste waxes, they're kind of a novelty item. Some will say a lot of times, people are, it's just more convenient to do spray products. So paste waxes are kind of more for that enthusiast, or maybe if you're wanting a little car therapy. I think anything that sits on the paint longer is going to be a little bit more durable, but it just really depends on the product. Like I've used some tin waxes lately that I just, I kind of want to get a throwback product every now and then. Sometimes I get tired of the same old, same old. But it's not going to necessarily be the most durable, because when you have carnauba and Brazilian waxes, a lot of times they're going to give you that warmer glow, but they're not known to be very chemically durable. But you may get 2-3 months, if best 4 months out of it. But you know, spray waxes, I feel like waxes have their place, for maintenance more so, especially, I know some detailers that if they're doing like a quick maintenance for a customer, they'll use a spray wax just because it's quick, but I like to do something more in the 4 to 6 month range, because I typically will see vehicles every, 6 months or so. And so I want to, put something on there that by the time they come to me, it's near its tail end, and then I can reapply that for them. But there's value in being able to do maybe a 3 to 4 month and saying come back 3 times a year because it's more business. But I don't know. I kind of am on the fence of where I want to offer value to my customer. How did I start detailing? So Donnie asked that question. And I've done videos on this in the past, but honestly, I started detailing just as a hobby. I think that's where a lot of us are. When I was a kid, it was my chore. My dad was a Marine, and he always taught me get down and look up. My mom was like super anal about our car always being clean. So I enjoyed it. It was relaxing for me. My dad would always tell me if it was raining, get outside and wash the car. It's free water. So it became therapeutic for me. And then as a young adult, and then when I married my husband, he was a car guy. He taught me some of the basics of polishing, with the old school turtle wax orbitals, the little things that they basically just go like this, but they don't do much more. And honestly, I just started being intrigued with detailing and wanting to know more about it. And I also was a housekeeping supervisor at a local Bible college. So I was understanding the basics of chemistry, stain removal, polishing floors, and things like that. So when I was a stay-at-home mom, taking care of our own cars and maybe friends and family, I had someone recommend that, I said, I'm wanting to work from home, but not sure what. I didn't want to do Norwex. I didn't want to do, um, you know, Pampered Chef or whatever those like stay-at-home moms do, or makeup or Mary Kay or things like that. Not that there's anything wrong with those. It's just not my niche. I like using those things, but I'm not going to use it enough to sell it. And so someone said, well, why don't you just detail cars? You can do it from home. And I thought about it and put my information out on the Nextdoor app, which is like a social media bulletin board for people that live within your area. I put my information on there. And I mean, I was so cheap. I was like $75 for full detail. I had no idea. I thought, well, I was making like $10, $12 an hour when I worked at the local Bible college, which I didn't realize wasn't that much. But when I was 20 something, I thought it was a lot. And so I figured, if it takes me $7, 7 hours to do a car, $10 an hour, that's on par. And I quickly learned that was not enough. I think it only took one detail for me to raise my prices by like double. And I still had, people like 2, 3 weeks, 4 weeks out. And then before I knew it, they were telling friends and word of mouth was spreading. So I became an official business. I got business insurance, homeowners insurance, garage keeper liability. And it just kind of took off from there. And there have been a couple winters that it was a little bit slow, but now I'm actually to the point where winter is some of my busiest time of year. I get a lot of coatings, a lot of interiors, because people are it's too cold to do their own cars. So I'm blessed to have this garage to work out of. It takes a little bit longer to do cars in the winter, but you just kind of work around it and adjust. Things aren't going to dry as quickly. It's going to take longer. You don't have as much daylight. So, we've been in business now a little over 4 years, almost 5 years, and getting to the point where I have people coming from, an hour away, out of state, et cetera. It's really exciting to see. We have a lot of detailers in this area. So the fact that I've been able to stay as busy as I've been is a huge blessing. And I know that sometimes other detailers will freak out because there's a guy across the street offering it for half the price. And honestly, like I have one literally at the end of my road that's a mobile detailer. There's probably 3 high-end detailing shops within a half a mile from me. Um, they're busy. I'm busy. There's more than enough cars for everyone. So it's been really exciting to see the business grow. I'm excited to see where it's going to go. I've been getting more coatings lately, which is exciting. So yeah, hopefully that answers that question for you, Donnie. All right, I was 2 weeks ago. Okay. I'm going to put the lithium cubes on my wife's car this weekend. I don't have a garage. If I put it on in the morning and it sits outside all day, am I going to be okay? You should be completely fine. I think honestly, 8 to 12 hours is what they say. So you should be good there. Do you want to expand your business or just run it from your garage? Junior asked me that question. That's actually a good one. I've been asked that question a lot lately by people. I've had a lot of people actually sending me applications, which I don't have any postings. Um, you try to think about your 5-year plan, and realistically, I'm 37 years old. This is a very physically demanding job. I don't know what, 10 years down the road looks like. My daughter wants to work for me when she gets older, but she's 6. So I've got a long ways to go before I have any sort of help. And I think it's hard for a lot of detailers because we have a certain level of expectation and you don't want to micromanage, but at the same time, your name is on it. And so that's something that I've really struggled with. And I've actually seen other detailers that have said that when they go big or get a shop, they hire employees, that it becomes kind of troublesome, cumbersome, having to do payroll, all the expenses of having a shop. I like working from home. So I think that I definitely would just stay working from home, but I don't know if I would hire an employee or maybe another mom. It would have to be someone that would have the same level of skill, and not that I can't teach that person to have that level of skill. The other part of it, though, is I try to keep my prices, moderately priced. I don't try to be like a top end, high end person. And so to be able to pay 2 people, I know that you're doubling your productivity essentially. But it's one of those things I'm still kind of processing how I want to develop the company and grow it that way. Even when my husband works with me, sometimes I'm like, okay, don't micromanage it. It's really hard. I love him, but when he grabs a tire brush and starts going after a wheel, I'm like, oh God, this isn't gonna work. This is abort, abort, abort. So yeah, it's hard, and that's I think the part that I maybe would have to make sure it's the right person. But I'm not opposed to it. It would just have to be, have to see some steady, continuous growth with the business, with coatings, maybe, because those are the higher end ticket sales that would be able to kind of afford that. But as the YouTube thing kind of steadily grows, and it's not like surging crazy, and that's okay. I've never been in this to be that, 125,000 followers. I like the fact that, I can help people out. And as it grows, it's a blessing. I'm not going to complain, but I'm not in this to be famous. I just like helping people, and I like sharing my journey. And if it can help provide for my family and help you guys out, that's all that it's really matters to me. So, but yeah, we'll see how things go. I don't know what the future holds for me. I think only God knows that. So, but yeah, as far as the business right now, we're just going to keep going where we're going. See how, as I don't want to say raise my prices, because unfortunately inflation, everything I think is going to have to go up ever so slightly. But it's been able to provide, and I want to make sure that I keep my customers, that I, retain them, and that we just continue to have the word of mouth. Thank you, James. I've worked really hard, and honestly, it's something that I want to continue to work to make the garage nice. We've only been in this house 2 years, and I've never had an enclosed garage in my life. So I'm still trying to figure out like how to design things. And I see everyone's pictures on Facebook about how they design their garages, and I'm like, holy cow, they look amazing, but they're also so expensive. And so everything that I do, I try to do it affordably, because when I see like $2,000 for a cabinet, I'm like, nope, I don't need a cabinet that bad. But yeah, I definitely want to like do the floors, maybe put some better shelving system up here, better lighting, because working interiors with garage lights, it's definitely limiting. So I need, I'm constantly like telling my husband, we need more lights. And he's like, it's like Shekinah glory in here. How many more lights do you need? But have you guys found any lights that work for you for interior detailing if you're working in a garage? If you have, like, drop the links down below. I've done tons of videos on lighting. And I feel like I'm okay. I wear the goofy mind strip ones, and I have all these LEDs exterior, but they're not also like paint correction lights. So I don't really see swirls too much. I have a really good paint correction light, but interiors, I just hate doing them inside the garage. What do you do on winter? I'm struggling. So, what do you mean by that, Victor? Like finding business or actually doing the cars? Because it's one of those things that there's an ebb and a flow to detailing, I have found. And if you just kind of stay steady, maybe do an interior special, maybe do some coating specials. Do you have a garage to work out of, or does a customer have a garage that you can use? That's going to be really key. And you want some sort of heat source. I've worked out of a garage that didn't have heat, and I had like a little propane tank heater, off to the side, and it works okay. But if you're doing coatings, you need probably around that 50-degree temperature at least for things to properly dry. So wintertime can be one of those hard seasons for detailers, and you kind of have to get a little creative. My first couple years, I actually used my neighbor's garage. He was really gracious with that. He had a 2-car garage, and he was just a single dad. So he let me use one bay. So you might be able to find a situation like that where even if you don't have access to a garage, maybe a neighbor does, you can work out some sort of arrangement. Maybe like, hey, I'll coat your vehicle, or I'll wash it once a month for you if you let me use your garage. Or maybe you pay rent. I know that there was actually a landscaper here in Lancaster that he has a huge, huge, huge garage that's heated. And obviously in the wintertime, they're kind of shut down. They shift over to snow plowing and different things like that. And so he even had approached me about, renting one of the bays off of him. So, I mean, there's options. You can get creative. Um, you just kind of have to keep your ears to the ground. But yeah, wintertime, there's definitely, things that you got to work through. You have shorter daylight, so you got to, sometimes deal with freezing temperatures in the morning, and so you're starting later and you don't have as much daylight. And so sometimes what I do in the wintertime is I will focus more on interiors, and a lot of times here in Pennsylvania, people are taking their cars through the car wash anyways. So that's why I normally just get interiors or like coatings, because people come into me for like a wash and just a wax, it's kind of defeated because as soon as they drive outside, it's going to be in slush or whatever. So really just try to focus on what your customers might be needing. Focus on the protection that, if they have a coating, it's going to be easier maintenance. They're not going to have to wash your vehicle as much, more chemically resistant to the salt, etc. So really just focus on educating your customers on the value that you can bring. So Fuso Soft 99 is the only worthwhile tin wax lasts until it's 16. I've heard great things about Soft 99, their Fuso wax, and I've never tried it though. But I've seen a lot of great things that it's really chemically durable. Haven't you had the question on what does a detailer do on a daily basis? Obviously, you're a work from home mom, but maybe someone has asked you that. What do I do on a daily basis? So me as a mom, obviously get the kids ready for school, which that's fun. I have a 10-year-old son and an almost 7-year-old daughter. And so there's just the basics of getting them out the door without my stress levels through the roof. Get them on the bus, come back. Normally that's when I like inhale some sort of breakfast, grab a cup of coffee. Maybe I will do some paperwork, text some customers, do some laundry for microfibers, just get ready for my day. Then, the customer's vehicle has either been here since the night before, or they bring it that morning, do my, before pictures, then basically just kind of assess the situation and start the detail. When you are your own business owner, many of you, if you've done detailing, that you're not just the detailer, you're also the secretary, you're the treasurer, you are the social media person. And so just kind of constantly putting those different hats on throughout the day. Maybe I'll see a situation and I'm like, oh, that make a cool Instagram post. So I do that real quick. Or maybe I realize I haven't paid my taxes yet for the season, so I need to go do it. So it's just the things that you do. And then by the time I'm done with the detail, it can be, if it's a decent one, 3-4 o'clock in the afternoon, sometimes 5:36. If I'm done earlier in the day, then I go inside, make dinner. If it's a little bit of a longer detail, my husband is, kind of taking that hat over. Then, maybe I am doing posts after the detail, putting up the after, finishing the before and after pictures, putting that on Facebook, editing a video for YouTube, maybe doing an Instagram post. My husband telling me, get off your phone, spend some time with us. Then, We do some cuddle time, we do some family time, get the kids to bed. Maybe I'll stay up late, edit a video, get that posted, shower, go to bed, start the day all over again. So it's kind of mundane, kind of boring. Sometimes I wish I didn't have the whole social media stuff because it's a lot, but I love it at the same time because it's super gratifying to see all the people kind of drawn to it, and so it's very rewarding, even though it has its demands. So that's kind of my daily day. Um, all right. Oh, well, thank you, Lewis. I appreciate that. Best of luck with your surgery. Thank you, Libby. I appreciate that. How many foam pads do you normally use on one car, and what's your favorite brand? I normally use Lake Country pads. They're the most durable. I also love the Rupes yellow foam pads, although I'm finding they're not quite as durable as maybe the Lake Country ones. So I typically do a pad per panel. And if it's like a roof, like I did a Nissan Quest yesterday, I went through, let me see if I can count this out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 pads on that vehicle. Average vehicle, you're probably going to be like 9 to 12. That one had a lot of dirt buildup on it, so I was just changing them out frequently because they were getting pretty gummed up. But yeah, I'm not the type of person that typically blows out pads. And even I have a pad washer, but I don't use it as often as I like because sometimes I find that it can be a little aggressive on the pads if you constantly are doing it. So I will wash my pads by hand. I actually have a bucket soaking with some pad cleaner, and then I'm going to clean those out later on. But yeah, anywhere from like I'd say 9 to 12 is average. 15 was the max that I've done. But Lake Country is my favorite. I like the force pads, the ones that I know a lot of people like the HDO ones or the SDO ones, and they're not bad. I like the flat ones because I feel like they give me a little bit more give on curved panels and things like that, whereas the HDO ones are a little bit more rigid. And I don't know, I just like the force ones. Plus, they're a little bit cheaper. So I started out with McGuire's products in the old G100 polisher. Mine died the other day. I was so sad. I have an MT300 polisher. It was my first polisher for McGuire's. And maybe the brush is bad and I need to replace it, but I think it's the electrical, the trigger, like I'm having a brain fart at this moment, but basically what you squeezed it. I need more coffee. But it broke. So I'm really bummed because that was my 3-inch polisher. So I might get it fixed, but I've already had it repaired from McGuire's. It's out of warranty. And so I'm on the market for a 3-inch polisher, or I could just be, not lazy and change out my 5-inch backing plate to a 3-inch backing plate. But who's time for that? Let's see. Hello. Hi guys. How you doing? Can you recommend a product to protect my truck for the winter with? It sits outside. Securing problems are a big problem. I mean, what have you used? Your name is F. What have you used? What do you have access to? As far as durability for wintertime, I've always been a big fan of like G-Technique C2V3. That's a very durable product. I've had great success with that with customers getting through the entire wintertime. I've also used even the Ultra Lock Plus or the Power Lock Plus Colonite 845. Any of those I think would be sufficient to give you winter protection. They're pretty durable. They don't require like an overnight dry time. They should be fine outside. And honestly, there's so many on the market. It really depends on, are you looking for something that it's once and done? You don't have to reapply the entire winter time. Lone Star Ceramic Series, that's another one that it has a lot of ceramic in it, almost like 15%. So I would imagine that that's pretty durable. And it has really nice gloss and shine, very easy to apply. Owner's Pride Ceramic Detailer is another one. Underdog Quick Detail, Ceramic Pro Sport, if you can get access to it. That's one. So, I mean, you want something that's more of a ceramic sealant. They don't necessarily need that whole 24-hour cure time that a lot of people get really nervous about. I'd say 8 to 12. If you apply it in the morning, let it cure overnight, maybe, or cure outside with sunlight on it, it should be fine. as long as you keep it dry for at least 12 hours for ceramic sealant. And I think you should be good to go. You might have to reapply it, once if you're wanting to go 6 to 8 months. But I think any of those products would give you really great results. And I mean, I could keep going. That's just a couple options that I have on my shelves. Hi, LMS. Chelsea, new fan here. My question is, obviously you dealt with a lot of cars in your business. What is the one car that you like the most? Ooh, that's a hard one. I've had some pretty sweet Corvettes, I'll be honest with you, but Corvettes, they can be pretty tricky. There's been a couple Corvettes that almost broke me. When you start getting into fiberglass panels and having to polish out scratches that have been there for quite some time, there was one that I was just in tears with. But I coated a Corvette a while back that was just fantastic when I was done. I'm trying to think of some other ones. Yeah, I mean, I really like working on Acuras. Their paint is fantastic. The interiors are really nice, very durable, not like pain in the butt carpets. Acuras, but that Corvette was pretty nice. My husband actually, I think it was a stick shift, and apparently to my husband, that's the only way to own a Corvette. And I was like, nah, I want a Corvette one day, but I can't drive stick. I know, don't hate on me. All right, I want him to teach me, but my husband doesn't have the patience to teach me. And I could go to my dad, but he doesn't have a stick shift vehicle. But yeah, my husband had to pull it into the driveway, and he missed and took it around the block, and I could literally hear him like up the road, just gunning it, just going up the road. And it's like, okay, I have a feeling a Corvette is going to be in our future, maybe when we're retired. But it was absolutely gorgeous, but they are not easy to get in and out of. I'm almost 6 foot tall, so that was definitely a bugger for me to clean the back seat. It was almost comical to watch. I love being able to send someone to the other local detail shops. Product review on 303 versus other like product. Which 303 product? They have their aerospace protectant. They have their 303 fabric guard. I mean, 303 is a fantastic brand. It was one of the ones that kind of I started when I started figuring out better quality products. You have an OnlyFans? Nope. Yeah, this is what you get. Been following you for a little bit. You're doing an awesome job. Keep it up. Thank you so much, Mr. Clean. I love that username, by the way. Do you have hair or are you bald? I just have to know. If you have an OnlyFans, you'd be famous for sure. Probably not. I'm not famous here, so I can't imagine I'd be famous here. How's the Mighty working for you? Honestly, I enjoy it. The only thing I'm dealing with is it's a lot bulkier and heavier to use. So there are some times that I'm still grabbing my AquaPro vac. Like if I got to speed through something and just get it done, I don't necessarily need hot water. Like I'll grab the AquaPro. The head on the AquaPro is more user friendly. The Mighty Light, it's bulkier, it's heavier. Like my arm is really tired by the end of it. But I had a vehicle the other day that was pretty bad, really nasty seats. And the heat, the customer had spilled a huge thing of oil in the back seat. You probably have seen it on my Facebook page if you follow it. It was a Toyota Corolla that I did. And the customer said, he's like, we spilled this huge thing of oil in the back seat. I don't expect you to get it out. It's been there for a long time. And it got a majority of the stuff out just with the hot water alone. So for that aspect, I'm really loving it. But it's I got to get used to it. It's different. But it definitely has its benefits. I wish that honestly Mighty would have a more similar head to the AquaPro vac. They're a lot smaller, just more, not as bulky. I don't know how else to say it, but I am famous as the only female. I think you mean detailer. There's a couple, but I'm not famous, but yeah, there's not a whole lot of female detailers, and that is definitely one thing that I want to encourage other females to get out there and show your work, because there's a lot more of us than people realize. A lot. There are some, female only Facebook pages, and a lot of times the women's are the ones that kind of are the supporting in the back kind of positions. And I think women need to have a light shown on them and shown that we not only can do this, but we can do it awesomely. And a lot of times, we are the stay-at-home moms trying to work and support their families, but there's a lot of couples doing this that I think that's absolutely awesome. My husband and I could not do this together. It would take a special couple to be able to work together the way that a lot of couples do. But I definitely wish more women would you know, share their stories and show what they can do, because this is an awesome business for any gender to be able to do, especially from home. Let's see, Austin Broad Chill. Smart and stay focused on the solid plan that you know is working. Black light circuit. Underhood lights from Harbor Freight. I have an underhood light that I got from Amazon. I just wish it was a little brighter, but maybe I need more lumens. How did your first ceramic coating come out? I'm trying to think. I went with a very user-friendly product. I want to think it was like DPC Shield Pro, something like that. Um, Actually, no. I was with IGL. Um, I think it went really well. I was nervous, extremely nervous, overthought everything, had like a million times. And I think actually, I'm trying to think back. What was my first coating? I want to think it might have been the old McKee's 37 coating. And I actually wiped so much. It was on my own personal vehicle. That's what it was. I had it on my Subaru because I coated my own vehicle first just to kind of get used to it. I was so nervous about high spots that I wiped pretty much the coating off, because like 2 days later, I came back and hit it with a hose and there was nothing. And I was like, what's going on? And I contacted Nick and he was like, you probably wiped the coating off. And I was like, yep, I probably did. So, yeah, I mean, coatings can be intimidating sometimes to a lot of people, but they're really not as difficult as a lot of people, especially with the advances that we've had with coatings nowadays. There are certain ones that flash super fast, that they're very aggressive, and they're, like 8-year coatings. Those ones I kind of steer away from, because I want something that's user friendly. And that's why I know that it's received a lot of hate on social media, but Underdog Pro has probably hit all the marks. I actually had a customer yesterday stop by. I coated his vehicle with Underdog Pro earlier this year, and it was actually kind of adorable because he stopped by. He had just taken his car through the car wash, and he's a younger guy. He's a Lyft driver. He's like, Miss Chelsea, he's like, how does it look? And I was like, oh, it looks great. I said, it looks like the day I coated it. He's like, I've been trying so hard. And I said, well, what matters is, do you like it? And he was like, oh, I love it. He's like, it's so easy to clean. And he's like, it looks fantastic. It's doing great. He lifted up his trunk and he has all these products that he's bought to maintain the customer with. And I was just like, I'm like a proud mama right now. All those conversations I had with him about proper maintenance, but he's been maintaining it properly. And, he goes through the non-touch car wash, and then he wants a drying aid and plush microfibers and all these things. And it's doing great. And that's why, like I told him, I said, that's why I'm sticking with Underdog Pro right now, because it's affordable, it's easy to apply, and my customers love it. And those are the 3 things that matter. People on social media, as much as their opinion, can have weight, it doesn't pay my bills. And so at the end of the day, that's kind of where I'm laying. So that doesn't mean that there won't be new things coming out that I won't try. And people have been sending me coatings left and right to try out. Geon sent me almost all of their coatings, and I'm really excited when I get back on my feet. We're going to be doing like a test panel and testing them all out and sharing that with you guys, for those of you that want to know about Geon. And there's just new products coming out all the time. I think Black Rhino sent me some coatings to test out, and just some other companies. But it's just one of those things with coatings. Find what you enjoy, find what is comfortable with you, and stick with it. If your customers are happy with it and it makes you profitable, go with it. Fab had some good lights, I think, for interiors. I'll look that up on his channel. Do you mean? Hi guys, I need more light for interior lighting. So you recommend anything? Do I recommend anything? Hi Mike, how you doing? And like I said, I mean, you can see I've got my right there, my underhood lighting. That does help greatly. And then I have kind of the LED lights that you put on your head. I don't know. I just feel like I need more. I don't know why I feel like I need more, but I do. We'll figure it out. I was actually at Brian Spittler's shop a couple weeks back, and he had lights in his shop. I think he had gotten them at Lowe's. They were like cylindrical. I don't know if you guys have seen him in his video, but it had like 4 or 5 lights on it. They were so bright, like, when I blinked, I actually saw light. That's how bright they were, but you could definitely see. So I wanna look into them. I gotta look them up online and see how much they were, but that might be an option, but I don't want too much light that I actually have difficulty seeing. So that was the case with his lights. Hi, guys. I am in beautiful Amish country, and it is we're getting to like I think we're like a week away from peak season, so it's absolutely gorgeous right now. But I have to actually rake later on, so I'm not looking forward to that. Yes, winters are great for interiors and coating jobs. Have you ever used the steamer on heavy caked wheels with brake dust, and have you had any luck? I'm thinking of trying this method on my wheels, but not sure if it's worth buying a steamer. If you're buying a steamer just for your wheels, I would say maybe try an acid-based cleaner before you make that huge investment. Not a huge, but a steamer's, it's a lot cheaper to buy, an acid-based wheel cleaner than a steamer. But you can do it. You have to be a little bit careful if the clear is a little degraded. You don't want to get too close or sit on it too much because you might bubble the clear or get too hot. Um, that has happened before. So Steam has its place. I actually have been like on the fence about considering it's a huge investment, like $1,200, $1,300 investment, but seeing those steamers that you can actually wash a vehicle with for wintertime, thinking about doing that as an option to do instead of just always rinseless washes. But again, that's a huge investment, but Steam has its place. I don't use my steamer hardly at all. I maybe will use it if there's like something sticky or stuck on, or if I'm doing like a odor treatment to kind of go after some of the bacteria a little bit. But really, the benefits of steam, I feel like I can do everything with steam. I can do everything with a chemical and a brush that I could do with steam and like using a blower. And sometimes when I've used steam, it actually like blows the dirt and the chemical all over the plastic, and then it leaves like these little water spot stains on it. And I'm like, I'm not a fan of that. So I really don't use steam that often. Plus, it takes too long to heat up, and I'm too impatient. And so I just get a brush and a chemical, and then blow it out and mop it up, and I'm good to go. So, but I would say, I mean, you can use steam to clean your brake dust on your wheels if they're that bad, but maybe try an acid-based cleaner first. Due to inflation, have you had to raise prices? No, but I probably will come winter time a little bit. More so for shipping costs than anything, because it's like the coating that I use, they went up $10, so that's not astronomical. But it's just one of those things where everything is costing more money. And again, I'm going to try to keep things as affordably as I can for my customers. But yeah, I just think that, just because everyone is raising prices doesn't mean I have to go crazy high, but if it's like $25 or so just to cover some of the costs, that's fine. I think that would be understandable for some people. Have you been approached by companies to review for their products for a fee? A couple, and I honestly turn them down. I've had a lot of people ask me what my rates would be, and I just tell them, send me the product, and I'd be glad to do the reviews because I don't want my opinion to be bought. Not that I'm against people who do that, because this is a legitimate business doing YouTube and product reviews for a lot of people. But I like the part that I can just give you an unbiased opinion. And also just I feel like there would be some sort of, I don't want to say burden, but feeling like an obligation that if I were to be a negative review, I would feel guilty about that a little bit. So for me, I like the fact that I can bless other people by doing a review. I had my friend Kelly from Royal Reflections actually had reached out to me, and she was like, "Hey girl, can we do some? Can I pay you for some videos?" And I was like, "No." I was like, "Just send me stuff, and I'll do videos for you," because her stuff is fantastic, and she's a phenomenal female detailer. It's a Christian-based business. I absolutely love that. I love supporting small business. I love supporting Christian businesses who especially are just their motive, their goal is not necessarily just to swindle people out of money. They want to put out quality products that actually work. And so I was glad to do some videos. In fact, I just did a video on her bug remover. I might be editing that and putting it up quickly just to do a quick product demonstration later on. But yeah, I mean, I've had a couple different companies, but essentially you send me the product and I'll try to do the video. I may not get to it immediately because I don't know if you guys have my shelf back in there. That's like stuff that people have sent me that I need to review. I have a couple boxes inside the house of product that people want me to do reviews, and I only have so much time to do it. But if people send it to me, I will like get it done. It just may not be immediately, but I try to give fair and honest opinion and feedback. All right, I'm a beginner, but have so far liked McKee 37. Do you recommend their stuff over others? You know, I'm biased, but I'm not to the point where I would say that they are the only brand that I use. I absolutely love their customer support. Nick Redder is fantastic. Everything that I've tried from them, 95% I would say is like the bomb. There's a couple that I'm like, okay, they're good, An APC is an APC, a carpet cleaner, different things like that I would say maybe I have a different product from a professional line that's a little bit more effective. But Hydro Blue Pro, their glass cleaner, their tire and wheel cleaner, their leather shampoo, their iron remover, their bug remover, there's so many that I absolutely love that. 9 times out of 10, I just gravitate towards their stuff because I know it's going to work. I know it's going to be effective. And if I have a question about it, I have a company that actually like I can go to them and say, how do I use this? Or I'm having a problem. How do I fix it? For me, customer support is huge. If I go to a company and I can't reach you, I'm just done. I'm just chucking it. So yeah. Is inflation starting to affect you guys personally? I've increased my client pool and raised my prices a little bit. Inflation personally hasn't started to affect me yet. We'll see how things go this winter time. Everyone is just kind of saying brace for impact, so I don't really know what that means. I know that supply and demand, and as we have a shortage of supplies and materials everywhere, we'll see how that goes. If there is a shortage of chemicals, but if there's a chemicals in the detailing industry, guys, come to my house because I can probably stock some of this for others. Oh, that startled me. That was my pressure. It was telling me I need to get back to work. But let me see if I can answer a few more of these questions for you guys. What's a good product to use on seats for interior cleaning? Are they cloth or are they leather? If they are leather, love either Superior Products leather cleaner. If they're not too bad. If they're really degraded, I would say just stick with like 70/30 leather shampoo from McKee 37. And for high-end seats, I like the 70/30. But if they're like good condition but really grimy, man, that leather cleaner from Superior Products is gonna like melt up. It will like gross you out because it's like, ugh, like people were sitting on that. But for cloth, I like Bonnet Pro Rocket Revive It or the Omega Time, two of my favorite cleaners. They're just quick and effective. Zap It's another one that's really good. But Bonnet Pro Rocket Revive It like 95% of the time, that's what I'm grabbing, and it's going to get everything out because it's a hydrogen peroxide citrus-based cleaner that most of the time hydrogen peroxide is going to go after most organic soils. The citrus base, again, it's kind of got degreasing capabilities to it. So organic stains, like it really is fantastic. And that's a majority of the stains that you're going to encounter. So, what are your thoughts on rinseless washes? I love them. I use them all the time, especially in the wintertime. I've actually become a big fan of Royal Reflections has a ceramic waterless wash. I know that's not rinseless, but I love that stuff. Ethos Defy, another one of my favorite waterless washes. But when it comes to rinseless washes, like what I will do sometimes is bottle up a rinseless wash, put it in a bottle. That's what I take to the car wash. And I will go through like the cheap bays where they, maybe you swipe your card, they charge you per second. I'll just blast everything off. And then I take that bottle of O&R and I will park in like the vacuum spots and I will spray the rinseless wash all over my vehicle, kind of use it as a waterless wash and then dry everything off that way. And that's how I typically will wash my vehicle in the wintertime. And rinseless washes are fantastic. The McKee 37 SiO2 rinseless wash, fantastic stuff. Like the gloss on that afterwards. And it actually does put down a good layer of protection. Like I would say a month, 2 months, nothing crazy. But if you're maintaining your vehicle with it, it's fantastic. Let's see. Owner's Pride Ceramic Detailer is awesome. Yes, it is a good product. It's one of my favorite from Owner's Pride. And their Eco Wash is honestly, it's a fantastic rinseless wash. Smells great. I like that it can foam. I will use that a lot of times in the winter. It actually is really good at cleaning dirt off of the vehicle, especially if you like foam it on and then do a rinseless wash. I've actually had Eco Wash remove like overspray and stuff like that off of a vehicle before. It's that effective. So it's definitely an underrated product. How has the new garage been treating you, and have you done anything new to it since your last video on it? I haven't done anything really new. Here, Miller, I'll show you a little bit. And maybe that's an older question because I'm kind of taking my time to go through these. But we definitely, we had a birthday party here not too long ago, and there's still some remnants left behind. It's a business. I want to make it a little bit more business-like. Corvettes are back, breaking the low, yes. Avalon King, I haven't tried it out. I think Humberto told me about them. Apparently, it's a very user-friendly coating, and it's gotten good results. How long did it take to come up with your pricing? It took me about 5 minutes to come up with it, and it took me one detail to realize it wasn't enough. And honestly, you've got to ask yourself, like, how much do I make an hour? I typically will charge someone, anywhere from $40 to $50 an hour. That's kind of where I land. And so if a detail takes me 6 hours, times 40, that's 40, 50 sometimes. But lately I've been able to make closer to $100 an hour. But that's not necessarily that I like flat out charge someone that. It's just that I've been able to become a little bit more productive and effective with my chemicals and processes. So it can vary. I know the average across the country, I believe, what detailers are saying is like $90 an hour. That's what a majority are saying you should be charging. And, sometimes I'm beneath that. Sometimes I'm above that. It really depends on the vehicle and the processes and stuff like that. We've chatted before on Smoke, Smell, and Oath. You're welcome about that. Best window cleaner for hazy windshield. Let's see. Honestly, Wet Magic Eraser, go after it. You want to have 2 to 3 clean microfibers. Just keep flipping to the fresh side. I like A to G Breeze. It's a fantastic glass cleaner. Smells great. Has like a little bit of a sudsing action to it, so it cleans really well. But it doesn't like evaporate like that. That gives you time to kind of go over it. What I'll do is if it's really bad, Wet Magic Eraser to get any whatever film is there. Spray your cleaner. Scrub with like a waffle weave microfiber. Get all that initial slop off. Then I either use like a different glass microfiber, and I'll go behind and dry, flip to a dry side again, keep going. Maybe if you have to, flip to another side. You might go through a lot of microfibers, but a lot of times streaking is caused from a dirty microfiber, or you still got stuff left on there from dirt. So if you scrub it with that magic eraser, kind of scrub it initially, and then, just keep flipping to a dry side. Make sure your microfibers are clean. You should get clean glass. But it's still the Achilles heel for many detailers. What do I think of Extreme Solution products? I love them. There's certain ones that I gravitate towards. Their Iron X is really good. Polyseal is good. Love, 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 love Topper. I sell that to my customers actually to maintain their coatings with. Very affordable. Their customer service is great. I miss Aaron, but their customer service is great. Extreme Suds is actually what I sell to my customers to maintain their coated vehicles with. So I wouldn't sell it to customers and recommend it if I didn't enjoy it. So they have really great products. Anytime that I've reached out to them saying, hey guys, I have an issue. Is there a product? They're actually a local company for me. They have like a Manheim, Pike-ish Manheim store. So there have actually been a couple times that I'll call Steve and I'm like, I need help. I need a product and I don't have anywhere. And Doug will like drive it out to me that day. So I don't expect that every time, but they're really great. And they're who I got my Mighty extractor from too. So that way I can have it serviced locally. Let's see if I can catch up to some of these questions because I feel like I'm really behind. Leather damage to seat with hot. How do you repair this problem? Ooh, leather damage to seat with hot dinner. Does it mean you melted it? Because you might have to repair it. And that is something that I would go to someone who specializes in that. What's my chemical process to clean upholstery and carpet to prevent wicking and prevent crunchy carpets when dry? A lot of times carpets are going to get crunchy if you have too much residue left behind. So really just one, knowing the stain, how much solution you need to put down on it. 2, extracting and rinsing it properly. Go over it with a microfiber afterwards. Don't just let it kind of sit there. The microfiber is 1, going to help absorb moisture. 2, fluff the fibers. Sometimes I will use Spot Stop. It's a spray product. Hang on, there's a lantern flying. He's dead. But spot stop, you just kind of mist it on, just brush it on over real quick, and that helps prevent wicking. But a lot of times, wicking is that you haven't gotten the soil that's really deep, and as water dries, it's going to lift that dirt to the surface and then leave wicking. So if you do start to see a little bit of signs of wicking before it's completely dry, just kind of go over it with a dry microfiber. That should remove that wicking part. But if things are kind of crunchy on you, maybe go over it with a brush just to kind of get some of that residue broken up, microfiber, whatever, and just fluff the fibers. You don't want to let it like kind of just dry matted down. So just kind of, they call it stirring the pile, make sure you kind of fluff and lift the fibers. So hopefully that helps. My favorite brand is Car Pro, Gion, Coach Chemi, Auto Finesse, PNS. What's yours? What is your top 5? Ooh, that's hard on the fly. Obviously, McKee's 37, Extreme Solutions. Turtle Wax, honestly, I've been using some of their products a lot more lately. I enjoy them. Car Pro is really good, and A2G. I'd say those are my top 5. Jessica is pretty good too, though. I don't know. There's so many. There's so many. Have you to do a video with Miranda Details or Apex? I wanted to when I met Brian. I felt like that weird kid who gets to meet their like celebrity. Like, oh my! I was really nervous meeting Brian. Actually, he's such a great guy, so down to earth, and I kind of wanted to say something to him about doing a video together, but he was actually. It was a weird situation. His son and coworker were there. They were working on a vehicle. He was training me to do the coding. And then like a previous customer, there was an issue with just like an illness in the shop that I was just like not wanting to hang around too much. And I didn't want to be that annoying person that's just like, can I do a video with you, please? But maybe I would love it. I would love the opportunity. Phil Miranda is a fantastic guy. I've reached out to him many times for counseling, and he's always been available. But yeah, I'd love to collaborate with other YouTubers and just, I actually, Aaron from Phoenix, I talked to him about maybe doing a live video with him. He has his new line coming out. He has Titan, actually, his new hybrid detailer out now, and there's some other products that he has coming out soon. And I'm really excited about them, but he has a huge background in chemistry. So maybe just picking his brain and talking to him about chemistry with detailing and how a lot of detailers need to know more about the basics of chemistry, stain identification, knowing what chemicals are, and basically how to use them properly. One, to educate myself, and two, to educate you guys, because I feel like that's the one area that sometimes we just skim over. If we're using something that's really acidic, like what does that do into our bodies? What does that do into the vehicles? Once, if it's super alkaline and you mix an alkaline and an acid, what does that do? What does that create? Why is that more effective as a cleaner? So just things that I want to know more about, and I want to go to the people who know about them. So, but yeah, I definitely want to collaborate with those guys, because I don't ever claim to know everything, and there's always things that I can learn from them. So, you think the steamer for washing looks like a gimmick? I don't know. It kind of looks amazing. I mean, I would probably want to like spray it down with a rinseless wash first, just to like moisten things, because like the idea of like just taking steam and wiping it immediately scares me a little bit. But I could see the benefits of it. I've seen some really raunchy cars that they do with that stuff, and it turns out really well. But I just don't know what it's doing to the clear coat. In your experience, do you have more customers that want a paint enhancement or simple one-year coating or two-stage? It's a good mix, honestly. I have a lot of customers lately that have been wanting coatings to get ready for wintertime. And a lot of times if I tell a customer, hey, your paint's pretty scratched. In fact, I need to get to this car because the customer just texted me a few minutes ago and said that he wants me to do paint enhancement. I'm like, okay, we're doing a paint enhancement. And that'll take me like an hour and a half. It's just speed that. We'll get it nice and clean and fantastic. We'll call it a day. I still have to vacuum it though, but it's not too bad. But yeah, I mean, if I tell a customer like, hey, there's some staining on the paint, or you've got some pretty severe swirls and scratches, or you got some oxidation, a lot of times they're going to say, let's go for a paint enhancement. But if they are contacting me like on the phone prior to dropping the vehicle off, and I say, what's the condition of your paint? What's your typical maintenance on the vehicle? And we just kind of have that dialogue. A lot of times it just turns into a coating, because naturally they're inclined to have something more durable on their vehicle. So that's why I've been getting a lot more coatings, just because when you have that time to talk to the customer and inform them, they see the benefits and the value of it. So that's why it's really important to educate your customers. So I've been doing a lot more one stage correction with a coating. A couple of them have been 2 stages that unfortunately I have to charge a little bit more because of stupid paint issues, but they're really understanding about that. All right, so you guys have a lot more questions, which is awesome. Gosh, I don't know if I can get to all of them. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna take some of these questions and maybe we'll just like do another video live. I know Brian Spittler will do this from time to time. Like you guys mail in your questions and he answers them. So I think we might have to do that because you guys have such great questions and I want to keep talking to you, but it's been an hour and I actually have to go to the bathroom. So thank you guys for tuning in. I got to keep moving on this detail and I got to get going with the rest of my day. But just wanted to give you guys a heads up on what's going to be going on as far as in my life. And 2 months, no cars. Kind of looking forward to it. I am going to be watching so many Hallmark movies. It's ridiculous. I cannot wait. My husband's like, God, no. I'm going to make all the cookies and we're going to watch all the Hallmark movies and I'm going to catch up with maybe reading a book because I haven't done that in like forever. So if you guys have any book recommendations for me, let me know. If you have any movie recommendations, I'm going to have a lot of time on my hands. That's what I'm trying to say. I'm going to be bored out of my mind, actually. I'm going to be like, can I clean my car yet? It's so dirty. Pray for me. I'm going to have to rely on my husband to wash our cars. Like, it's going to be bad. But yeah, I will definitely be back. I will be on. I just won't necessarily be doing the same exact format. So if you guys have any more questions for me, which for those of you that ask questions, thank you for them. But I got to keep moving on this. But we'll see you guys hopefully soon. I'm not, 100% sure that it's going to be super long like this, but I'll try to answer some of your questions. And if you have any more, drop them in the comment section down below. But we'll see you guys soon. And thanks for all of your support. Thanks for all of your prayers. Thanks for all of your encouragement. I can't wait to see what you guys have, for questions. And we'll see you guys soon. So